My girlfriend said, "You're emotionally unavailable." I replied, "Now I'm physically unavailable too." Then I packed at night, changed my number, left the city, and I smiled when she begged mutual friends for my location. Hey Reddit, you know what your problem is? You're emotionally unavailable. You never open up to me about anything real. I looked up from my laptop, where I'd been reviewing quarterly reports for the third time that week. The apartment was dim except for the blue glow of my screen and the floor lamp beside the couch where she sat, arms crossed. That expression on her face I'd seen maybe 20 times in the past 6 months. Okay, I said. That's it. That's all you have to say. I closed the laptop slowly. What would you like me to say? See? This is exactly what I'm talking about. You're like a robot. Nothing gets through to you. I felt something shift inside me then. Not anger exactly. More like the last piece of a puzzle clicking into place. The picture finally making sense after staring at it for too long. You're right, I said, standing up. I am emotionally unavailable. Her eyes widened slightly. She hadn't expected agreement. And now I'm going to be physically unavailable too. I'm 25. Was 25 when this happened 6 months ago. We'd been together for 2 years, living together for 8 months. The apartment was hers originally. My name wasn't on the lease. Convenient, as it turned out. That conversation happened on a Tuesday night. By Thursday morning, I was 300 miles away in a different city, new phone number, new gym membership, new everything. But I'm getting ahead of myself. After I said that line about being physically unavailable, she laughed. Actually laughed, like I'd told a joke. What are you going to do, run away? Very mature. I'm going to remove myself from a situation that isn't working, I said. That seems pretty mature to me. The laugh died. Wait, you're serious? Completely. Because of one argument? Are you kidding me right now? I sat back down, but not where I'd been before. I took the chair across from her instead, creating distance. This isn't about one argument. This is about the fact that for 6 months, you've been building a case against me. Every time I don't react the way you want, every time I'm focused on work, every time I need space to think, you add it to the list. I'm emotionally unavailable. I'm distant. I don't care. I'm checked out. Because it's true. You barely talk to me about your feelings. I talk to you plenty. I tell you about my day, my projects, what I'm stressed about, what I'm excited about. What you mean is I don't perform emotions the way you want me to. I don't have dramatic reactions. I don't want to process every single feeling in real time with an audience. Her face was reddening now. So this is my fault. I'm too emotional. Is that what you're saying? No. I'm saying we're incompatible. You need someone who wants to share every emotional experience as it happens. I'm not that person. I never have been, and I told you that when we started dating. People can change. They can. But they shouldn't have to change their fundamental personality to meet someone else's needs. That's not love. That's a renovation project. She stood up fast enough that the couch cushion bounced. I can't believe you're doing this. Over nothing. Over 2 years of increasingly frequent arguments about how I'm fundamentally broken in some way. Over being told I'm emotionally unavailable, emotionally stunted, emotionally immature. Over being made to feel like my natural temperament is a character flaw. I never said you were broken. I pulled out my phone, opened our text history, scrolled back 2 weeks. Read aloud. Sometimes I wonder if you're even capable of deep feelings. Her mouth opened, closed. I scrolled further. From last month. Normal people don't shut down like you do. I was upset when I said those things. I know. And you'll be upset again next week and the week after. This pattern isn't going to change. So I'm changing the situation instead. She didn't believe me that night. When I got up and went to the bedroom, she followed, still arguing. You can't just leave. We have plans. My sister's wedding is in 2 months. You're supposed to be my +1. I pulled my duffel bag from the closet. Started with underwear and socks, the practical stuff. We were going to look at houses in the spring. You said you wanted to start thinking about the future. Button-down shirts, folded quickly but carefully. I need them for work. Are you even listening to me? I am. And everything you're saying is about what you want and what you planned. Not once have you asked if I'm happy. Not once have you considered whether I might want something different. Of course I want you to be happy. No, you want me to be happy with you, in the exact relationship you've designed, behaving exactly as you think I should behave. That's different. I moved to the bathroom, grabbed my toiletries. Electric razor, deodorant, the prescription allergy medication I couldn't get over the counter. She was crying now, standing in the doorway. Please, can we just talk about this? Really talk. We've been talking for 6 months. I've heard what you think about me. I've tried to explain my perspective. Nothing has changed except you've gotten more frustrated and I've gotten more exhausted. I love you. I stopped packing for a moment. Looked at her directly. I know you do. In your way. But your love comes with conditions I can't meet without destroying myself. I didn't leave that night. Partly because it was already past midnight. Partly because I had loose ends to tie up at work. Partly because I wanted to give the situation one more day to see if anything changed. It didn't. Wednesday morning, she was cold, distant. Thought she was punishing me with silence, I guess. Giving me a taste of what it would be like without her constant emotional demands. It was the most peaceful morning we'd had in months. I made coffee, drank it alone in the kitchen while she stayed in the bedroom with the door closed. Went to work, had a productive day without the anxiety of knowing I'd come home to another argument. Around 3 p.m., I got a text from her. We need to talk when you get home. Okay, I replied. At 5:30, another text. I've been thinking about what you said last night. Maybe you have a point. I didn't respond to that one. Didn't want to give false hope. Got home around 7. She'd cooked dinner, set the table, even lit candles. I thought we could have a nice meal and really discuss things calmly, she said. The food smelled good. Chicken piccata, one of my favorites. I sat down, more out of politeness than anything else. I realize I might have been putting too much pressure on you, she started, in a tone that suggested she'd rehearsed this. I think maybe we both need to work on communication. There it was. The both sides approach, the neutralizing of legitimate complaints by making them mutual problems. I don't think I need to work on communication, I said. I think I communicate just fine. What you want is for me to communicate differently than I naturally do. Her fork paused halfway to her mouth. I'm trying here. I know, and I appreciate the effort. But this isn't about effort. This is about fundamental compatibility. Everyone has to compromise in relationships. Compromise isn't the same as personality reconstruction. Compromise is deciding whose family we visit for Christmas or whether we watch your show or mine. It's not one person constantly telling the other person that their emotional responses are wrong. Dinner continued in increasingly tense silence. I ate because I was hungry and because wasting food she'd cooked seemed unnecessarily cruel. But I didn't pretend the gesture had changed my mind. After dinner, I started researching apartments in other cities. Places where I had job prospects, where the cost of living was reasonable, where I could start fresh. She noticed the laptop screen. You're actually looking at places. I am. This is insane. You're going to uproot your entire life because we had a fight. I'm going to relocate because I'm 25 and unattached, and this is the perfect time to make a move I've been considering anyway. The fact that our relationship isn't working just makes the decision easier. You've been considering leaving? The city, yes. I've been considering leaving the city. The job market here is limited in my field. I've been sending out applications for months. Her face went through several expressions. Shock, hurt, anger, settling on betrayal. You never told me that. I did. 3 months ago, I mentioned I was looking at opportunities in other markets. You said it was a terrible idea and we shouldn't even discuss it. Because we live here. Our life is here. Your life is here. My life is wherever I make it. That night, I slept on the couch. Not because she asked me to, but because I wanted the space and the symbolic separation. Thursday morning, I woke up at 5 a.m., finished packing quietly, loaded everything into my car. Most of my stuff fit easily. I've never been a collector of things. Clothes, laptop, a few books, some kitchen items I brought with me when I moved in. It all went into the sedan in 4 trips. I left my key on the kitchen counter with a note. Utilities are paid through the end of the month. I'll transfer my portion of the internet bill. Take care. No forwarding address. No phone number. Nothing. I texted my boss from the road. Family emergency. Need to take the remote work option we discussed. Will be available by email. He responded an hour later. Sorry to hear that. Keep me posted. Take the time you need. By noon, I was checked into an extended stay hotel in a city I'd visited once for a conference, had enjoyed, and figured was as good a place as any for a fresh start. My phone started ringing around 2 p.m. Her number. I let it go to voicemail. She called 6 more times. Left voicemails that progressed from confused to angry to panicked. Where are you? Did you seriously just leave? This is ridiculous. Call me back. Please. I'm worried about you. You can't just disappear like this. At least tell me you're okay. I listened to all of them once, then blocked her number. Ordered a pizza, ate it in my hotel room while researching apartments and job opportunities. Got a new phone number Friday morning. Updated my resume. Sent it to 15 companies. Went to look at apartments in the afternoon. Found one that would let me move in the following week. By the end of the first week, I had 3 job interviews scheduled. By the end of the second week, I had an offer. Better pay, better title, better everything than what I'd left behind. The mutual friends thing started around week 3. I still had social media at that point, though I'd unfollowed most people and rarely posted. Started seeing tagged photos, check-ins at places I knew our mutual friends hung out. Then the messages started. From Trevor, a guy I'd been friendly with but never particularly close to. Hey man, your girl is asking about you. Everything okay? From Nicole, one of her close friends. Whatever's going on between you two, ghosting isn't cool. At least let her know you're safe. From Marcus, my former roommate. Dude. She's losing it. Called me 3 times asking if I knew where you went. I didn't respond to any of them. Then came the social media posts. Nothing directly about me, but clearly about me. Her Instagram story. A photo of her looking sad with the caption, "When someone you love turns out to be a stranger." A Facebook post. Reminder that cutting people off without explanation is emotional abuse. A tweet. Imagine claiming someone is emotionally unavailable, and then they prove it by literally disappearing. I watch from a distance, the same way you might watch a storm from inside a secure building. Interesting, dramatic, but ultimately unable to touch me. The posts got more desperate, more philosophical, more accusatory. 2 years, and he couldn't even say goodbye. Some people would rather run than work on themselves. I'm learning that closure is something you give yourself. That last one made me almost laugh. She wanted closure. She'd had 2 years of me trying to explain my perspective, and now she wanted closure. Week 4, Marcus texted again. She's saying she just wants to make sure you're okay. That's reasonable, isn't it? I broke my silence for that one. I'm fine. Don't give her my number. Don't tell her where I am. I mean that. Come on, man. That's cold. It's necessary. She's really torn up. I'm sure she is. But that's not my problem anymore. He didn't respond after that. I unfollowed him too. Found out later, much later, that she'd actually hired someone to try to find me. Some online investigator or skip tracer or whatever they're called. He found my old address, obviously. Found my former workplace. Apparently called my old boss asking about my whereabouts, claiming to be a family member. My boss, bless him, told her nothing and sent me a heads-up email. Someone claiming to be your cousin called asking about you. Didn't sound right, so I said you no longer worked here and I had no forwarding information. Everything okay? I called him, my new number, and explained a simplified version. Bad breakup, needed a clean break. Ex-girlfriend not respecting boundaries. Say no more, he said. Your business is your business. Good luck with the new gig. That's when I started smiling. Not because she was hurt. Not because I enjoyed her pain. but because her reaction proved everything I'd been trying to tell her for 6 months. She couldn't let go. Couldn't accept that someone might make a choice she didn't approve of. Couldn't respect a boundary she didn't agree with. She had to know, had to understand, had to have the last word. And by refusing to give her any of that, I'd finally communicated in a way she couldn't misinterpret. The ultimate expression of "I'm done" isn't words, it's complete absence. Month 2 in the new city, I was settling in nicely. New apartment, new job, new gym where nobody knew my history. Started dating casually, nothing serious. Met people who accepted that I was quiet, thoughtful, measured in my emotional responses. They didn't see it as a flaw, just saw it as who I was. One woman I went out with 3 times, nice person but not quite clicking, said over coffee, "You're pretty reserved." That's okay though. I find it calming. Calming. Not emotionally unavailable. Not broken. Not stunted. Calming. That's when I realized how much damage had been done by 2 years of being told my natural temperament was a problem that needed fixing. Got a message around that time from another mutual friend, Rachel, someone I actually respected. "I don't know the full story, and I'm not asking. But I wanted you to know she's in therapy now. Talking about relationship patterns. I think she's starting to understand some things. Still asks about you sometimes." I tell her I haven't heard from you. "I appreciate that," I replied. "And I'm glad she's working on herself. But that doesn't change anything." I figured. Take care of yourself. You too. That was the last communication I had with anyone from my old life for a long time. It's been 6 months now since I left. Life is good. Better than good, honestly. The job is challenging in ways that excite rather than drain me. I've made friends, real friends, not just proximity friends or girlfriend's friends I tolerate friends. Started rock climbing, something I'd wanted to try, but she'd always dismissed as too dangerous. Met someone recently, taking it slow. She's a software engineer, independent, has her own life. We see each other once or twice a week, text sporadically, both perfectly comfortable with silence between communications. After our 5th date, she said, "I like that you don't need constant validation. It's refreshing. I like that you don't see that as a character flaw." I responded, "Why would I? You're just yourself. That's kind of the point, isn't it?" "Yeah, that's exactly the point." I think about that night sometimes. The look on her face when I said, "Now I'm physically unavailable too." The disbelief. The assumption that I was bluffing, that I couldn't possibly follow through. People underestimate quiet people. They mistake our calm for weakness, our thoughtfulness for indecision, our measured responses for lack of conviction. But the truth is, we're often the ones who've thought things through most carefully. We don't make dramatic declarations. We don't threaten or bluff. We just decide, and then we act. She wanted emotional availability. She wanted me to open up, share every feeling, process every emotion aloud. Here's the thing she never understood. I was emotionally available, just not in the way she demanded. I was available for deep conversations about ideas, philosophy, plans for the future. I was available for quiet companionship, for showing up when needed, for steady support. What I wasn't available for was constant emotional performance. Daily processing sessions, analyzing every interaction, every feeling, every minor friction point. And when she couldn't accept that, when she kept pushing and criticizing and demanding I become someone I wasn't, I made a choice. Not the dramatic choice she would have made. Big confrontation, tears, reconciliation, repeat cycle. The quiet choice. The permanent choice. I removed myself from the equation entirely. Sometimes late at night, I wonder if she ever figured it out. If therapy helped her see that compatibility isn't about changing someone until they fit your mold. If she learned that emotionally unavailable sometimes just means has different emotional needs than mine. But mostly, I don't think about it at all. I'm too busy living a life where I'm not constantly defending my personality. Where silence is comfortable, not a problem to solve. Where my natural temperament is accepted, even appreciated. She wanted me to be more present, more emotionally engaged. The irony is, I am now. Just not with her. Never with her again. That Tuesday night, she said I was emotionally unavailable, thinking it was an accusation that would wound me, make me try harder, make me change. Instead, it was liberation. Permission to admit that what we had wasn't working and never would. So I became physically unavailable. And then I became happy. Sometimes the best response to "you're not enough" is "you're right, not enough for you, and that's fine." And then you walk away. And you don't look back. And you definitely don't leave a forwarding address.